What's going on, Falcon fan? This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So, guys, today it is Friday, 2 days away from showdown with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers divisional game. Football is already back. We watched two divisional foes go in last night. We will watch two more divisional foes go in tonight as well. Football is back, guys. I know you're excited, just like I'm excited. I can't wait to see you guys at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday to see can the Falcons start the season off the right way. Today, I'm giving my keys to victory, just like always, and that you know what I think is going to take these Atlanta Falcons to win this game, the first game of the season. Also, we're gonna talk about some little roster moves that we heard today. What's going on, EQ? Some roster moves that we heard today from the Atlanta Falcons. Um, getting ready for this big matchup with these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the big game. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't. If the Atlanta Falcons win, doesn't mean that they're going to win the division, anything like that. Because we recall last year, the Atlanta Falcons started out 6-3, and we saw how that turned out. So they lose doesn't mean that the season over. So, but it's important to try to get out right at home, division opponent. They always say it look like something like it counts as two, so we can get this win. It'd be really important. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button, as I know you guys are here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come hear me talk about. That's right, these Atlanta Falcons. All right. So, like I said, the Atlanta Falcons did make a couple roster moves today. It was announced that they actually released wide receiver David Seals from the active rosters. More than likely, you might see David Seals back on the practice squad. We'll have to see if that how that pans out. But they released him. Now the Atlanta Falcons have 6 receivers by 7. We know that 7 was a big number to start with. So kind of expected some kind of manipulation with the roster anyway. But with that move, that corresponding move, they actually brought in a defensive lineman off the Carolina Panthers practice squad, and Sam Roberts, a guy who had time with the Carolina Panthers and with the New England Patriots. So guy that's been in the league for a minute. I think he's been in the league for 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But bringing another defensive lineman in, it's interesting, right? Because we was already kind of surprised that they only kept 5 defensive linemen on the roster and start with, and then instead of elevating, which we still don't know who they're going to elevate, to the starting lineup here. The active roster here for game day from the practice squad, guys like Kentavious Street, Simeon Barrow, guys like that. But it's gonna be interesting to see bringing in Sam Roberts, another guy who stands 6'5", about 295 pounds. It's just I'm just wondering. Hopefully we won't probably get insight into this signing until sometime next week probably. But it's gonna be interesting to see if Sam Roberts even getting burned here this weekend. Right, guy, you coming in um, making a move like this on a Friday. It's really interesting. So we'll have to see what's the reason behind that. But bringing in a defensive lineman, a guy I don't know a whole lot about Sam Roberts, but bringing in some depth in that front seven is a really good idea. So let's see why the Atlanta Falcons potentially did that. Um, EQ says the NFL changes so much from year to year. It's hard to see how good the Falcon will be till about half of the season's played. That is 100% true. Just watching the game last night, right? I know if you guys watched the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. All these guys can play, man. Like that's why when we talking about um, game one, you can't get so high, you can't get too low based off the outcome of the game, right? I thought the Dallas Cowboys probably should have won that game last night. I thought they came in and played well on the road. The Eagles, they really young on defense. Just like the Atlanta Falcons going to be young on defense, right? And then of course they had some some bonehead plays in that game. They had I think like four personal fouls in the game. Kept the Dallas Cowboys on the field a couple of times. So penalties really played a big role in it. But they played well, right? They just let you know that everybody in this league is professionals. They all can be good. So you can't come in and think you're gonna get an easy win on any team in the NFL, because if you come in with that mindset, you can get beat any day. So that's why I don't like the disrespect that the Atlanta Falcons get so much from around from national media, because if you look around the pundits out there, there's nobody picking Atlanta Falcons to win this game, and you know despite the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a plethora of people that's going to be out the game that's out. So it's just interesting to see that the Atlanta Falcons could go undefeated this year. Just never know, right? And that could be for a lot of teams that you don't suspect to be good, but everybody get paid, everybody professional, and it just sometimes teams just build that chemistry so good, and they just unstoppable force, and it could happen anytime. So don't sleep on any team. That's what I like about it. Um, like you said, yeah, I watched it. If the Cowboys would have put a spy on their quarterback, they would have won. Yeah, that's a great point, because when you think about it, he couldn't throw the ball. It was more of just, I mean, and he played well. Jalen Hurts played really well, but you know, having your number one receiver get one catch, and it came in the fourth quarter. I think Devontae Smith got maybe one or two catches himself. Um, so they couldn't pass the rock, but they was able to run with the quarterback well, right? He had 5 first downs himself and 2 touchdowns. So when you look at stuff like that, you know, that tells you that the game plan that the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboy came with was to take away the passing game and try to stop the run, right? Which they stopped Saquon, they took away the passing game, but they didn't account for the quarterback, right? So the second half they made adjustments. They started sending more pressure, 5-man pressures, coming off the corner blitzes and things like that. It kind of stymied the Eagles defense a little bit, but the Eagles played just well enough to get the win, and the Cowboys made just enough mistakes to lose the game. So, and that's what it really boils down to. Um, Iker said that's why I like PP9. He's a quarterback, not a running back. 100%. He's more of a passer, and you're gonna have to count for it, the passing game as well as the running game, and with the Atlanta Falcons. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. We get to the keys to victory. But guys, just let me know what you think about the 2 roster moves that the Atlanta Falcons made. They also um let a safety go as well. Ganyard, I think I'm not mistaken. You know, um, from the IR. So another guy they let go. So they actually made 3 roster moves today, but we'll see if David Seal is going to be picked up. Of course, you got to wait until you bring him back, and probably more likely he's going to come back on the practice squad. So, um, and that's why I thought he was going to end up anyway, to be honest with you. All right, so let's get into the keys to victory today, guys. First, we're going to talk about offensive keys. Just like always, I always start off on the offense side of the ball, um, just like right hand, left hand kind of thing. But I'm going to start off with the offensive keys first here, and so since this is the first game of the season, I think the first key, and I think we all want to see this, is for the Atlanta Falcons to start fast. Right? If they start fast. I think that would be really good for them, especially with all the hoopla about not playing in the preseason and being rusty and things like that. They can come out and look really good. Just to start off the first drive, put some points on the board. Touchdown preferably, but even if they just kick a field goal, that would be nice. So the first key for me for the Atlanta Falcons on offense side of the ball is to start fast. If they can start fast, that would really be good for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, take away the whole rust thing. We know these guys are in rhythm to start the season off. And that would really be good. So let's see, can the Atlanta Falcons start off fast? The second key is to establish the run game. Right, they need to establish the run game, and in the mixer that you want to be balanced. So you want to be able to utilize the run game and the play action pass as well. Right, so establish the run game and then could, could create that balance with the passing game, but utilize that run game throughout the play action pass. That's what we want to see. So they can start fast, establish the run game, and um, utilize that play action pass. I think that would really be awesome for Atlanta Falcons. We want to see that balance. I thought, for an example, if you look at last night game, if you watch the Cowboys, you know, the way they distributed the balance they showed, right? I think at one point they had 17 passes and 17 rushes, right? Just outstanding balance that they was just displayed last night. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see from the Atlanta Falcons. You want to be able to run the ball, and then you want to be able to pass the ball, create that balance, and you kind of keep the defense on their toes because you're not sure what they're going to be able to what they're doing, right? So that's what you want to be able to see from Atlanta Falcons. You want to be able to establish the run. That's the bread and butter of the Atlanta Falcons offense. Of course, with our two dynamic running backs that we got, but being able to do that, especially against the aggressiveness of a Todd Bowles defense, you open up the passing game throughout play action. So want to be able to establish a run and be balanced utilizing the play action pass. So that's my second key. And then the last key is really simple, guys. It's just be able to no turnovers, right? You know, that's hurt. That was Achilles' heel, the Dallas Cowboy game last night. That one turnover probably hurt them. They was in score range. They was going to be able to put 3 points on the board, even seven right there. But Miles Sanders fumbled the ball, and you could say that's probably what lost them the game. Being -1 in the turnover margin was not good. So and try not to turn over a ball. And with that being said, let's not have so many penalties. That's going to be key as well. Try not to have penalties. Um, you limit the penalties. I thought that would hurt the Philadelphia Eagles. It didn't hurt them from losing the games, but it definitely continued drives for the Dallas Cowboys because there's penalties that the Eagles kept getting caught up in. So that is going to be really important. No turnovers and limit penalties from the offensive side of the ball. So you're looking at offensive keys. It's simple for me. You want to get out on a fast start. You want to be able to establish a run and try to create that balance with the play action pass. You want to have no turnovers and limit penalties. If the Atlanta Falcons can do that from an offensive standpoint, I think we'll see the results we want to see from this team here on Sunday. Um, let's see. Let's see. Ikiri says, yes, they're waiting to see if Mooney is going to start. Yeah, I'm leaning that he's not going to play. I think um, Casey Washington is probably going to get the nod here. I think Mooney is on track, but I think they're going to sit him out one more week. So I'm just anticipating him not playing. I know he's a game time decision, but I'm anticipating him not being out there. I think they're going to wait another week on Darnell Mooney. But Casey Washington, I think he's going to be ready to go. Um, Even with Mooney out, the Atlanta Falcons still got a lot of weapons to be able to utilize. So it's really going to be important to see what they'll be able to do. You also said with the D line injuries that Tampa Bay has, run the ball 100%. Now Vita Vea is questionable for the game. He did practice today, but he is questionable. So with a foot injury, so we'll see. If he does not go, that's a really fortunate for the Atlanta Falcons, right? But even if he's there, the Atlanta Falcons still need to be able to establish a run, and like I said, create that balance, for their passing game. So, but you are right. You're right. Clancy and Vita Vea they're really good up the middle of the field. I'm not too worried about our interior offensive lineman though, because all those guys has consistency there now. Ryan Newsel, and if I can't recall, I think Ryan Newsel was present in some of those Tampa Bay games. So he has familiarity. It's not like he's a novice out there not going to be ready to battle against Vita Vea and all those guys. So um, he said our new offensive tackle is a run blocker, so run the ball. Let's see. I actually think um, Elijah Wilkinson is a better pass blocker than either Caleb McGarry is. Of course, Caleb McGarry is one of the most dominant run blockers out there, but I think when you look from a pass protection standpoint, I think um, Elijah Wilkins is probably even better, a little bit better than Caleb McGarry from a pass blocking standpoint. So we just have to see how it goes. But guys, those are my offensive keys. Um, it, Go ahead and if you got any more keys that you think that's gonna help the Atlanta Falcons, be successful here on Sunday, please let me know in the chat and let me know here in your comments. All right, let's go to the defensive keys. Defensive keys for these Atlanta Falcons against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here on Sunday. The first thing is for me, one of my biggest concern is stop the run. Um, like I said, we don't have big, big Eddie Goldman there. We don't have Grady Jarrett there here anymore. We got a young group of defensive linemen that's gonna have to be dependent on this year. So I'm just want to see how it looks, guys. I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to do the thing, but they need to be able to do the thing. So they need to be able to stop the run, right? They can do that. That's going to be really important for this team. So my first key is stop the run. My second key is huge, right? Because Tampa Bay Buccaneers was number one in this last year, and that was third down conversions throughout the season, right? So my second key for the defense is to be able to get off the field on third down, right? Atlanta Falcons was the worst team in the league last year on being able to get off the field on third down. So this is like fall right into Tampa Bay sweet spot, right? They was the best team, and the Falcons was the worst team, right? So we need to be able to change that. We need to be able to get out the field on third down. I always go back to that Washington Commanders game where the Atlanta Falcons had the ball one time in the third quarter on offense, right? Because the Atlanta Falcons could not get out the field. It's just that simple, right? Um, you can't play good defense on first and second down, and get in third and advantageous, downs for your team, your defense, and then give it up. So, um, got to get out the field on third down. Now, if you're able to stop the run, I think third down we might be able to unleash your pass rush a little bit more, right? So that's what I want to see. Stop the run and get off the field on third down. They got to be able to do this. If they can't do this, it's gonna be a long day for this defense. So that's going to be huge. And then the third key for this Atlanta Falcons defense for this week is no explosive plays, right? If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to beat you, you make them go a long way. You make them drive the ball. You get no explosive plays. If they get out of the field on third down, they don't even have to worry about that, right? Going long drives, but no quick, putting the DB out there 1-on-1 with Mike Evans. No, don't do that, right? That's the mismatch. We know what Mike Evans is, even against. I'm talking about AJ Terrell because he's Mike Evans get anybody, man. So I'm telling you, don't put him out there 1-on-1 and limit explosive plays. I think what we really need to look out for is Mike Evans and Cade Otton. Both of those guys is some of Baker's favorite targets. Now, the young rookie, we don't know what we expect for him. Ibuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, so we need to be, cautious as of him as well. But definitely no explosive plays to Mike Evans and Cade Otton, right? We need to be able to eliminate that. And even Bucky Irvin in the running game and the pass game as well with him. So, they do have that three-headed running back, trio that they have there. So we want to be able to limit those running back as well, but no explosive plays. So when we're looking at the Atlanta Falcons, you want to be able to stop the run. You want to be able to get off the field on third down, and don't give up no explosive plays, man. That's what we need to kind of focus on. And if the Atlanta Falcons can do that from a defensive standpoint with all these young guys, right? we're gonna be happy on Sunday once the clock hit 0-0-0. Right? That's what we want to see. So um, let's see, can we make that happen? You said, yeah, Tampa Bay has two good running backs. They actually got three good running backs, man. So we got to be able to put something on that. Put Tampa Bay quarterback on the ground. Don't let him run for first downs. That's yeah, Baker. He's like Houdini back there, man. He make plays. He makes something out of nothing because he's a gamer, man. You gotta love the way Baker Mayfield play. He's a gamer. He's a gunslinger, so he will throw you the ball as well. So that's what you want to do: get him off his spot and make him make dumb plays because he is prone to doing that as well. But he's a gamer, man. Baker Mayfield gonna come out and he's gonna put it all out there to try to get the win, and that's how he plays. He plays lights out. You love him. His teammates love him because he really plays. He's a dog. Just you know any other word. So that's the way you want to see. So we got to be able to um, try to put him on the ground. Great point. Uh, Three dirty. Yep, with another video. All right, man. Let's go to the special teams. Special teams keys, and then we want to get on my last topic. Um, and then so the special team keys for the Atlanta Falcons are I'm just two keys, man. The first key is make the field goals. Simple as that. We don't want to miss field goals, man. Let's make our field goals. If you got a chance to put points on the board, put the points on the board, man. Make your field goals. Missed 12 kicks last year. You cannot have that this year. We don't want to start off with the bad taste in our mouth. So make your field goals. That's what we want to see. And then the last key on special teams for me is be dynamic in the return game. They got Jamal Agnew on this team simply because he's a returner, right? So when I think about that, like you out here just return kicks, man. So if that's your specialty, that's what you need to do. You need to be really good at it, right? He has in the past, so we want to be able to see our return game be dynamic, right? So and that's in the punt return and the kickoff return game. That's what I want to see. I love the way Marquise Williams. He always talk about special team because if you think about it, when you punt the ball, that's the first play on defense, right? Because you create the field position there, and then when you return the ball, that's the first play on offense because you get a couple of first downs. You put your offense in a good position to go out and put points on the board. So be dynamic in the return game this week. I think that's is crucial for our Atlanta Falcons. And guys, that is your keys to victory for week one against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Quick recap: offensive side of the ball, you want to establish the run game. You want to be balanced when you're doing that, right? You want to establish the run game, be balanced when you're doing that. You want to make sure you get out fast, right? You want a fast start all the way down the field, put points on the board that first drive, and now last but not least, no turnovers and limit your penalties, right? That's what if we can do that, an offense side of the ball will be great. Defense, you want to stop the run. You want to get out the field on third down, and you don't would not want to give up explosive plays. If the Atlanta Falcons do that on defense, we will be happy at the end of the day. And then on the special teams, make your field goals. We do not want to see missed field goals this season, and be deep, be dynamic in the run game, guys. Those are your keys to victory. Let's see how spot on I am when we come to this. Um, it's a lot more things you think about. You can pick out individual players. You can think about so much stuff. But when we talk about the fundamentally part of the game and the game within the game, I think if the Atlanta Falcons do these 8 things for a team, I think they will be good. All right. EQ says, yes, the new kicking rules, we should see a lot of returns this year. I hope so, because teams dumb enough to kick the ball in the end zone and put the team on the 35-yard line, especially the way field goal kickers are kicking from like 60 yards now. Like you need to cover first down, you're in field goal range. So, you want to try to have some kind of strategy there and So you want to be able to kick the ball in play, and then have your players get down there and make plays. You know, to stop all this return yardage that could happen after that. All right, all right. But guys, so the last thing I want to talk about today is, and if you look at it in the title, and it says the time is now, right? And what I mean by that is it's time for this Atlanta Falcons team to you know take take the right step forward with all the investments they made with these players. It's just that simple, man. Since Terry Fontenot been here, um, all his first round picks have played decently, right? Kyle Pitts, of course, we want to get him back on track. But if you look at um, Bijan, you look at Drake, right? Of course, Mike Penix now, of course, Kyle Pitts. You look at the two rookies that they picked up this year, right? You look at the defensive side of the ball with Brandon Dorless, Ruko Roro, Zach Harrison, Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman, right? You look at the youth that's here. Um, so the investments that Atlanta Falcons have put in, and this is how you build a team, right? They built this team. All the guys I just talked about, guys that they actually drafted, right? They drafted all these guys. So it's time for those guys to dig in and play deep dividends, give dividends in, man. They got to be able to give back, right? They got drafted, right? You want to see if this team can do something. They're young, and if they can do it this year, they can do it now, right? Atlanta Falcons only going to catapult them for years to come because this is the time. The time is now, right? And then you take all those young guys that I just mentioned, and you blend those with the veterans, with a Jesse Bates, with a K Nellis, right? AJ Terrell, a couple of free agents you brought in, Leonard Floyd, Divine Diablo, right? This is the time. This time is now, right? You still got Kirk Cousins, in Michael Penix's ear as the backup quarterback. This is where you want to see this Atlanta Falcons take the reins and put the league on notice. This is it, right? If you talk around the league, right, is that the Atlanta Falcons got some special players on this team, right? When they talk about Atlanta Falcons, they talk about Bijan, they talk about Drake, right? They talk about Jesse, right? They talk about Christian Lindstrom, but they don't talk about the team as a collective, right? That's what we want to see, right? We want to, because we watch these guys, we know how special these guys can be, how dynamic these guys can be. Now, I really believe that if we had better quarterback play since Terry Fontenot been here, Atlanta Falcons probably been in a couple playoff games. It's just that simple, right? The quarterback play has not been good. Even last year, after that 6-3 stretch, the quarterback play went down. It simply did, right? We talking about one touchdown and 9 turnovers in a 4-game span. That hurt the Atlanta Falcons. It really did. So, you know, the talent is here. We know the talent is here, but you got to be able to get it out of these guys and be able to do what they need to do, right? This is not a untalented roster. This is a really talented roster. They're young, right? We talked about how young they are, so there's going to be some bumps in the road. Down to the quarterback, down to the 2 defensive backs that they're starting, down to the 2 pass rushers that they brought in, right? Down to the second-year players and Rook and Brandon. It's going to be some growing pains, but the time is now, and that's why we so excited about this season, because I believe, and I think a lot of you guys believe, the quarterback play is going to be okay, right? Right. I hope it be that's our franchise quarterback for the next 10 years kind of play. That's what we want to see, but man, it's just if they can't do it now, I don't know the direction this team's going to go in. That's the way I'm feeling about it because I think the Atlanta Falcons, what they did this year, they put all their chips in on the table, right? And if you want me to explain it, I will, right? So they started a young quarterback, right? They took their $150 million quarterback, they put him on the bench. They said, okay, Michael Penix, you are the future, right? And then they trade back in the first round and they double down on pass rushers, right? They double down on pass rusher. They let 10-year veteran All Pro Grady Jarrett leave the team, right? And then they go ahead and start two defensive backs in the young defensive backs in the backfield, rookies, right? They got two second-year players in Brandon Dorless and Rook Roro expect to have big minutes. I feel like the Atlanta Falcons went all in, man. I really do, right? You can say, well, they might can go from here, but no, this your investments, right? This your draft picks, right? You build a team through your draft, so you put your draft picks on the field, you supplement them with some savvy veterans, right? You got a quarterback that you hoping be the future of your franchise. The time is now. No more excuses, man. The coaching need to be really good. They need to play good, sound situational football against professional teams because everybody can play in this league. That's why the term any given Sunday is there, right? Because it don't matter who you playing, they all good, man. So you got to play good situation football. But the Atlanta Falcons team has the talent. Now it's time to put it together. They have the talent. It's time to put it together. The coaching needs to be solid. The play on the field need to be good. The quarterback play needs to finally deliver. The time is now. That's what I'm saying. And we can't accept nothing less, man. I'm just saying I don't expect us to be don't have mistakes. That's going to happen, right? Especially when you got a quarterback just starting his fourth game ever in the NFL. It's going to happen, right? You got two rookie DPs that's never played, you know, a real live game in the NFL. They played in the preseason a little bit, but they never played a lot of snaps in the NFL. Going to be growing pains. I get it. But what I'm saying is we need to see improvement throughout this season because if we don't, I don't know what Atlanta Falcons go from here, right? I'm just saying that like they put all their chips in my books, right? They gave up their first round pick from for next year. If you have a bad season, the Rams gonna have a good pick because you couldn't deliver what you hoping that you're gonna be able to deliver on this field this year. So, all right, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but I believe that I now personally think they're gonna show us some stuff this year, but it's no excuses, man. They got to do it. The time is now. They got to get it done, man. And that's where I believe they they know it, right? That's why they ain't talking about it. They're not saying they're going to win this many games. They're not saying they're going to win the division. They said they just want to get out and play, and that's the reason they're saying that. That's the reason they're because they know why you talk about it because you can talk about it to the cops come home, and guess what? If you don't put it on the field, don't mean shit. So, um, I can't wait to see what this team do this season. Right? Let's hope they start off on the right track against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's hope we don't get a repeat of what we seen last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where like the game plan was like incomplete. Like you really like you're trying to play your first preseason game in the regular season, right? Because you don't want to get anybody hurt. And let's not hope that's the case, right? Um, I think having young guys on the field is going to help because those guys are going to be juiced. They're going to ready to play. I think guys like James Pierce and Jalen Walker going to be just they're going to be so jacked and ready to. They're going to bring that energy that this team needs. Right, that's what I feel. I think Billy Bowman, his physicality is going to be on display this weekend. I think Drake is ready to go. I think Bijan is ready to go. So I'm telling you, I think the guys are ready to ball, but the time is now. They got to do it, right? They put all their chips in on the table, right? They got to start paying guys, right? They got to pay Drake. They got to see what the decision gonna be on Kyle Pitts, or maybe Katie is in the contract year. Jesse Bates coming up here soon, right? They got decisions to make. They need to see what they need to see in 2025 so they can make the good decisions to make this team even better next year, right? I'm not saying they need to win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying they need to show some improvements. They need to get to the postseason, and it's just that simple. Let's see what people got to say here. Uh, I believe we got a pass rush this year. I do believe we got a pass rush as well. I 100% believe we got a pass rush, and I can't wait to see it on display. I just can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it on display. Um, I hope our first strong safety is a ball hawk, and the NFL that he wasn't. Man, both of them. We got three ball hawks up supposedly on this team right now in the secondary, right? With Billy Bowman, Xavier Wise, and Jesse Bates. We got three ball hawks, man. If we can get a glimpse of what we've seen from those guys in college, those two rookies, man, this secondary can be really special going after the rock. So great point, great point. Ratatouille, land of the gay, 30 bird, Solomon Garth. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Y'all suck. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if we suck. You say you suck. Oh man. So guys, I'm so pumped right now. I wish the game was starting like right now because I'd be at the game like ready to go and stuff like that. But no, get your walk in tomorrow. You know, at the stadium, whatever you do, wherever they get their walk in, get the mindset right. Michael Penix, be you, because you are him. Like just what I'm saying, man. That confidence that you have shown us when you first got on the field against the New York Giants last year, put that on display on Sunday, right? You have your chemistry with your guys all off season, all training camp, OTAs, everything. You guys should be on on 10, man. You should be on 10. Bijan, right? You got all these goals, man. You want to be the best running back in the league. Do your thing. Tyler, you in a contract year, brother. Brother, let's do this. Kyle Pitts, you're in a contract year. Let's do this, right? I'm advocating. You're in a contract year. Let's do this. That's what I'm saying, man. You guys got something to play for. You got something to prove, and the talent is there. The time is now. The coaching staff need to put these guys in position to do what they do, right? Let's see the Georgia Jalen Walker. Let's see the Tennessee James Pierce Jr. We want to see those guys on the field on Sunday, getting after Baker Mayfield. That's what we want to see. We want to see the Xavier Watts we've seen at Notre Dame against the Bulldogs and in the college football playoffs, right? We want to see the Billy Bowman getting all those turnovers that he got at the University of Oklahoma. That's what we want to see. We want to see Brandon Dorless getting after quarterbacks like he was doing at the University of Oregon. That's what we want to see, man. If we can see those things, like I believe this Atlanta Falcons team can really be good, right? We got question marks at right tackle. I don't know why everybody took it, overblown it. Injuries happen, man. You got to freaking figure out a way. Next man up. Elijah Wilkinson, come in, do your job. You beside an all pro right guard, he gonna help you out. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. No excuses. Time is now. So Atlanta Falcon fans out there, I know you guys are ready. I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday, right? Let's be loud. Let's bring your your dirty bird flags, right? Wave them, be loud. Let's see, can we get the swag surf going in the fourth quarter with the league, right? Let's just be hype, man. Right? It ain't the end of the world if we lose. but we better not fucking lose. That's all I got to say, right? So let's do this, Atlanta Falcons. The time is now. No more excuses. Let's see can Atlanta Falcons get it done. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.